Jax has changed a lot from episode 1 to episode 2. I don't know if I believe in that theory that they're all NPCs, because Goose gave them human ages.
What's mango?
Mango?
That's a fruit, Jax.
I hope so.
No. I'll make sure of it.
You're watching convention coverage.
Welcome to our panel.
Yeah! I don't know if we want to introduce ourselves, if we need introduction. I don't know if we want to waste time or if we want to get right into questions.
I think we could just get right into questions.
What your guys' favorite part of working with Gooseworks is like?
Goose is a friend, so I just love getting to work with my friend. She's so talented, and she's such a shy person in real life too. Like, she's not a very social person, and so doing sessions and getting to chat with her is just always a blast and always really fun.
Honestly, just getting to vibe with her sense of humor is the best part. Since the very first episode I recorded with Goose, with her as director, when we got to the line in the script, I saw that and immediately burst out laughing because I could picture exactly almost what she wanted. And it was just like, I think this might be something special. And the latest example was reading episode 4 and seeing the "you can shut up now" line and immediately catching on to that being a reference to the internet classic Minecraft with Gadget. So just finding those moments where our weird senses of humor and terminally online brain rot intersect, that is my favorite part.
Aww.
Yeah.
I just love how collaborative the process is with her. She knows her character, she knows the story so well, and it's honestly, some of the best direction I've gotten in any recording sessions before.
Absolutely.
She has such a clear vision, and she knows how to articulate it to us. And she's such a sweet, down-to-earth person, and I'm grateful I get to work with such incredible artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
How do you bring balance, bringing your own interpretation of the character with what Gooseworks and the other writers and directors envision?
Easily. I just respond to the direction. If there are some takes where I feel like I have my own interpretation and then we go with Goose, I've seen it go both ways. Sometimes they ultimately go with what Goose wants, and in others they think that my take might have been better.
Yeah, that's how it goes with me too. A lot of the times in sessions, Goose will kind of read me in, and also will kind of, in a way, not line read, but they'll kind of say the line, just give me the tone and mood of how they want it said, basically. And I'll do takes where I, read it the way that they did. That way it sounds similar enough to their tone. And then I'll do some, if I have a new idea that I want to try, I'll play around with it.
Yeah. Always try to prioritize what the director wants first. That's
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, that's your job, is to take direction. But we do have multiple takes for a reason. If you were able to get the take they wanted and you have a chance to do another one because you have an idea, you can say, "Ooh, can I try something?" And you can give it a shot. Maybe they'll use it, maybe they won't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you receive any direction that completely changed how you approach your character's performance?
Jax has changed a lot from episode 1 to episode 2. I don't know if you listen to episode 1, most of Jax is very, very subdued in how he talks. He's very I'm fine with doing whatever as long as I get to see funny things happen to people. He's way more chill. And then in episode 2, I started off reading Jax the exact same way. And then a little ways into it, Goose is like, "Oh yeah, Jax is gonna get a little louder in this episode, so yeah, he's not always quiet." And so we had to kind of, from there, it's like, okay, let's find a good middle ground. And so I started making him a little louder, literally from, as soon as they get in the car, Jax starts talking a little louder, and then sort of from there, his performance changed just a little bit, where he's less subdued, I guess. He's just a little more chill and casual, but not totally deadpan.
As far as Caine goes, I feel like there hasn't been a terribly large amount of deviation in how I've portrayed him from episodes 1 through 4, but by the time of episode 5, there is a slight increase in deviation to another one of Caine's character traits. I'm sorry this is so vague, but he's gonna sound very familiar, but he's hiding a little something extra.
I think for me, it was more like I started to understand the character a little more as we got further into episodes. At first, I'm just like, oh, anxious little ball of human, but I'm finding more and more she's actually really empathetic and she cares about others, and I want to tap into that part of her a little more as we continue on with the series.
That's a good way of putting it, because there's another... I guess what I meant to say was... I mean, episode 1, I was really focused on Caine being wacky and showman-like, but... the more it goes on, there are other character traits that I really want to tap into as I've learned more about the character, and I think it starts to shine through in the next few episodes that we've done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
Which episode was your favorite to record?
Okay, I've got 2 answers for this. I mean, episode 1 has the most Caine in it, and it's got a lot of his wackiest lines, but I think I might actually have to go with 3, because that's the one where you start to see the cracks forming in, like, Caine's self-worth, and I got to actually do some semi-dramatic stuff and good character work with Zubul. Plus, it's also got it's got a few immortal lines in it as well, like, "My mind is a beeswax polished coconut," and "Zubul, look at this cool bee I drew."
I think 3 is also my favorite that we worked on so far, because I feel like we got a lot of depth from Pomni, and there's
Absolutely.
just a lot of fun moments to play off of, like the whole the eyeball scene and the fly. That was a lot of fun.
As far as like the episodes go, I think 4 was my personal favorite as far as content for Jax of what's been released. But I will also say, a part of me listens back to that episode and I'm like, man, I was sick when I recorded this episode.
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
My voice is ever so slightly deeper in that episode
Interesting.
because of the fact that I was sick.
I can't tell.
You can't tell. Good. I'm glad.
Not at all.
I'm glad it's something only I get to bear. It's my burden to bear. But no, I loved episode 4 for Jax. That was a fun one. Episode 5 was my actual favorite to record, though. It's a fun one. That's a really fun episode.
What was your favorite and least favorite adventure in the show?
My least favorite was the backrooms and the void. My most favorite would probably be the Candy Canyon Kingdom. That was pretty sick. That was okay.
No one liked that one.
It was okay.
No one liked that one.
I got to see Gummy Goo. I was fine.
My least favorite was that one time Pomni stumbled into the void. And my favorite adventure was whichever one Orbsman was in.
I want to know what that adventure was like, genuinely. That
Yeah.
looks like it was a fun adventure. I wonder if the world was like super like orb-like and retro too. But as far as like the presently seen adventures, I feel like Jax's least favorite, the fast food one was not fun for him, but I feel like more so, he probably had way less fun with the Haunted Manor one, just because he was tied up for most of it. He couldn't do anything. There was no actual fun in that whatsoever. And then, obviously we saw how much fun he had with the Candy Canyon Kingdom. He was, he was not exactly pleased by the end result, but he still had fun.
What's your favorite character design in the show?
Okay, I feel like for me personally, it's between, a little biased here, but Caine.
Caine's is so cool.
Yeah. It's instantly iconic with just like his head being a piece of like dentures.
Yeah.
I like Pomni's as well because it makes a great marketable plushie.
Her eyes are cool.
Yeah. Although another one that I love just because I bleed the 90s, Zubul.
Zubul's is so cool. Oh God, for me, I gotta go with Caine. Caine is just such an iconic look.
What do you enjoy most about playing Jax?
I just love that I get to actually like play into this kind of jerk character. Wow, I don't want to say that word. This mean, crude, terrible character that just, God, I am awful at this. But yes, because I usually I'm so used to playing N from Murder Drones at this point, who's such a happy-go-lucky, cheerful guy, that just having that effect of, well, now I get to play the opposite of that, where I get to play this dude who doesn't care about anyone else's feelings and is just kind of doing his own thing because, it makes him laugh. It's like, honestly, it's really fun to play into that. And that is not at all how I am as a person. Honestly, Jax reminds me a lot of my brother. Which maybe isn't the greatest compliment to him as a person. but you know, that's sort of kind of I try to channel a lot of his energy when I read into Jax.
Yeah. I should have brought the sensor bar for you.
You should have. Yeah. Hey, I saved myself almost. Almost.
Thank you.
Which character was like your favorite to voice?
Caine.
And for Murder Drones, easily.
Pomni or Chisato from Licorice Recoil.
Are you guys aware of fan theories? And if you are, which one is your favorite?
We have a big Discord server where we just talk about the fandom in general, and we talk about fan theories all the time.
Yeah.
We theorize amongst ourselves too.
Wanna talk
Which
about
we have
it?
an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
But we theorize amongst ourselves too. I don't know if you guys want to share your favorite theory.
Well, yes. My theory is something akin to like San Junipero from Black Mirror, where it's something kind of like that. Yeah, where it's their consciousness is loaded onto a computer, and maybe they can permanently be saved into the computer or what have you. I believe Sean mentioned he believed it was some type of psych ward thing. What about you guys?
I definitely like the theory that Lizzie posited, because it would basically mean that no, there is no escape. Their human bodies are just out there in the world doing whatever, and they have to just accept this is their life now. These
fan theory.
artificial copies of humans just kind of walking around, being tortured by an AI. There's a certain degree of existential horror in that I think is probably like, it's the kind of stuff that I think Gooseworks would be very attracted to, given the rest of her work. So, I mean, I could very well be wrong about this, because I have no ability to predict her whatsoever. But
I personally like the idea that it's like a Buzz Lightyear situation where they think they're real people, but they're actually NPCs that have fake memories.
Yeah.
And so they're like, I'm not even real to begin with. So it's like the whole Gummy Goo situation in episode 2. But it's like, you know, to a degree where it's like, well, we've been gaslit this whole time? What the heck?
Yeah.
You know.
do you think they would do that twist all over again?
I don't think so. I don't know if they would. I don't think that would actually be the case. I think they're people.
I do not think
I don't think so either. Goose gave him an age, which is also why I don't know if I believe in that theory that they're all NPCs, because Goose gave them human ages.
Yep.
Now, thank you for answering.
You'll have to
Thank-
wait.
What's your headcanon for why Kaufmo specifically abstracted?
You'll have to wait and see. No, I don't know, actually.
I haven't thought
I mean,
about that.
Ragatha did say that, like, you know, she fake laughed at his jokes, so I wonder if everybody just kind of dismissed him a lot and he just felt like an outcast.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I wonder. I feel like he felt like an outcast, maybe.
I think it's probably a combination of a lot of things. That alienation from everyone else, thinking that they don't appreciate him or like him, that they just kind of see him as a clown and maybe not as someone that has self-worth deep down. And then, of course, the added trauma of Caine not understanding, despite being the one that's nominally supposed to be in charge, setting up these horrible adventures that probably just make him feel even worse.
I feel like Kaufmo is one of those people that used humor as a way to try and brighten the situation and make everybody in the circus more happy, but no one probably reciprocated, and it would just make him feel like he didn't have purpose, I would imagine.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Out of everybody in the circus, except for Caine and Bubble, who do you think is the most happy living in the circus?
Kinger?
Kinger.
He's living in like, you know, just
pillow
his own
fort.
head. He's managing just fine.
I feel like he's also the one that's like the most like he's hit acceptance. He's hit stage 5 of grief by now.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think would happen if someone were to take off the headset of the character?
They would
Like
die.
someone else.
SAO style, they would die.
I would assume they would die. Yeah, because we don't know the case of what's going on with the headsets. We don't know what the situation is.
I would assume that they take the headset off and walk away.
Always the optimist.
I mean, what's optimistic about the fact that their conscience is downloaded into the computer?
Yeah. We don't know yet what the deal is, so we're trying to figure that out ourselves.
I'm just kind of thinking like out loud.
Yeah.
If they had I mean, in the SAO scenario where removing the headset means you die, how is your body preserved during that? Like, do you not just like atrophy over that time? Or starve? Or what?
I don't know.
I don't really like SAO very much.
Is Gangle going to be okay?
I hope so.
No.
No! Why?
I'll make sure of it.
I think she'll be okay, as long as she gets that promotion, which I'm sure will have no adverse effects on her mental health whatsoever.
I'll try to talk to her.
Would Caine be good in Minecraft?
I think Caine would make a lot of brown bricks in Minecraft.
Caine would only play in creative mode.
Yes.
You would
that was
only
going to be my
play in creative.
That was going to be my serious answer.
Yeah.
He would create the most astounding stuff like the Starship Enterprise and like I don't know, if he got like a creeper blowing himself up, like he'd probably just be like, "Oh well, minor setback. I'm just going to keep going." He does it for the art. He does it for the bit. And I think he'd love Minecraft.
Yeah.
I just pictured like a Minecraft-looking Caine T-posing and like hovering away into the ether.
Yeah.
It just.
We should ask the Zam boys if they could do like a brief animation of that with their blocky Caine model.
I love that.
During with episode 4, I always wonder what do you guys think? Sorry, I'm really nervous. What do you guys think the stupid sauce would actually taste like?
It would taste like the TikTok pink sauce.
It probably would.
Yep.
Did you ever try it?
No.
I don't know what it tastes like.
But that's what it would taste like. It's bad, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cough syrup and mayonnaise.
Oh, why?
Yuck.
I could taste it in my head.
Oh no.
Ugh.
If each of you had a chance to interact with your respective character and just say one thing to them and then poof, they're gone, what would it be?
I don't know if I would even say anything. I would just give her a big old hug.
Aww.
And be like, "You my little friend, I love you."
I'd just be like, dude, get a clue.
I'd give him the middle finger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which parts of yourself do you see in your characters?
I definitely see a lot of myself in Caine. I see the entertainer, the guy who's been influenced by like game shows and hammy performances throughout my life. I see a lot of his insecurities as well. He wants to feel like he's doing well at things.
Pomni, I basically see myself entirely in her. I don't know how Goose managed to write a character that was exactly like my personality, but she did. But I've played plenty of characters that are nothing like me as well. And at first, when I was a newer actor, it was uncomfortable. But over time, I've learned to find bits of myself in those characters and bring them out that way. And it's made it a really fun challenge at times. So I enjoy the challenge more now, and I've gotten better at taking it on. And I think it's cool.
Yeah. With Jax, I don't see myself as him at all in a lot of ways. But I don't see it as being that difficult because I honestly think it's really fun to tap into that kind of jerk side of him. Because I don't do that in real life. I try not to be a jerk. I don't like inconveniencing other people. I see myself as being way too polite in a lot of social situations. And so Jax is just kind of that excuse of like, well, what if I wasn't? You know, what if I got to just kind of be outwardly a prick, you know? And it's really fun to play around with that with Jax. And also, obviously, there's more to Jax than we know. Like, there's something going on behind the scenes with him. He's traumatized. He's been hurt. But why is he hurting? How is he hurting? You know, that's something we need to figure out. And that's something that, like, I have to resonate with is, like, he's doing this for a reason because something's obviously bothering him. And he's projecting.
I was wondering if you have a favorite song or any form of content, like fan-made of the show.
Happy Place.
Happy Place is really good. That's the one that just came out. It's so good by the Examination team.
Or
It's
Digital
so good.
Hallucinations also good.
Digital Hallucinations is the earworm.
With the rapid success of the series, how did you guys each mentally handle the everything? Because like, was it something that you guys were expecting?
No. We were not expecting it at all. How did I handle it? I'm still handling it. We're all still navigating this because it was a whirlwind.
I mean, I feel like my case is especially egregious because Lizzie's established, Michael has been.
I know, I got to experience something similar with has-been, so I'm just like, I kind of, was a little more prepared for this, but also just, it was so much bigger than I could have expected.
Yeah, and this is my first, major role in anything, and I was just kind of expecting it to be like, okay, a nice thing I can add to my resume, the show looks good, but that it would blow up into this sensation that ended up on Netflix is something it never crossed my mind that was even possible.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, after the pilot aired, it hit 50 million. I'm going off to California to propose to my girlfriend, and this all happened within a few weeks. All these life-changing events happening in rapid succession, and then I start going to conventions and seeing all of you, and it's insane. This show has literally changed my life with its success.
Yeah. You know anybody else on the panel of the characters that had the same kind of effect with him?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I recall Amanda also saying that this was their first year, or last year was their first year doing conventions.
Yeah.
Marissa's already established, as is Sean. Ashley's got her start with animation, doing work on Animaniacs and such.
Ashley's done conventions for years also, because she did pony cons back in the day, and because she was big in My Little Pony.
So was I.
And also, I know that Ashley and I did a con back in 2022. That was before Digital Circus though. Yeah. I just had has-been in Murder Drones at the time. But this is, I know at least as far as all of us go, getting to do conventions all together as a squad has been genuinely freaking awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Going into voiceover, one of my biggest goals was to be a recurring character in a popular animated series. And this was that. I feel like this made that dream come true, and I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah. What does it feel like to be in a show that is so popular that it has a cafe in Japan and a bunch of people who cosplay as your characters?
I want them to invite me, damn it.
I want to go so bad.
I want to go.
I want them to pay for our flights so we can go to the cafe ourselves and just be total weebs there.
We almost were impulsive. We thought about just going. We thought about paying for our own flights and going. We talked about doing it, and we almost did, but we did just too many things got in the way.
I couldn't make it work with my schedule.
And we all didn't want to go if we weren't a at least somewhat complete squad, especially if most people were gonna be able to go. So we decided against it.
Want to go this year.
Which is why I want them to invite us, all of us. Does Japan have conventions like this?
Probably, but I don't know. We'd have to have interpreters and everything too.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd get to meet the Japanese cast. Too.
That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Someone in the audience, if you are hearing this, if you have any matter of connections, invite us to Japan.
Gooseworks.
We want to go to
Japan.
Begging. We love anime and manga.
What's mango?
Mango?
That's a fruit, Jax.
What were some of your favorite parts or moments in working in fan items like Happy Place, Digital Hallucinations, and just kind of the fan songs?
Something that I didn't actually get to do that we talked about was for Happy Place, the newest thing. It didn't work out because I was so busy with other things and so many personal things happening. But for my part, there's the humdrum, bum, bum, banging in my head that I did. For the video, they have a fursuiter dressed as Jax. Originally, I was supposed to record myself wearing the Spirit Halloween costume.
Oh my God.
That was the original plan, was they were gonna have me record myself hopping into the scene in the with a green screen, wearing the Spirit Halloween costume. I was gonna look around and go or something like that.
Wait, is the hand with the Gangle part, is that Marissa?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I thought it looks like it could be her hand,
That's
doesn't
why
it?
Yes, it does.
I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I
have
didn't
to
see her
ask her.
credited in the in anything for video stuff.
We could ask.
We could ask. It looked like it could be her hand. But yes, that was something that we were supposed to do. But I could not make it work with timing.
I like the AUs. Like the boxer AU
The
and stuff
boxer
like
AU
that.
is so cool.
That was really cool. Thank you.
Hey. Oh. The fan game.
Yeah.
Which is coming out
the
with a
visual
sequel.
novel.
There's a fan game?
There's a
Yes.
fan visual novel made by someone named Queen. It's very good. We did a live dub of it all
Yeah.
on Marissa/Vixen's Twitch channel, which they have a VOD on their YouTube channel.
All right, well, I have to check that out. Thank you
You
guys so
will.
much. I love all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's the difference between indie animation compared to like a big company animation? Is there any pressure when it comes to working for an indie animation like the Amazing Digital Circus?
There aren't any stockholders involved in indie animations, so there's a lot less, concern with needing to, care for all these different production companies and other people that are investing in it. It's independent, and so with that in mind, you've got a lot more flexibility and freedom to just say, well, I want to do this. No one's saying we can't do this. Why not? Let's do this. Yeah. Which is something that with a lot of production companies, you've got so much oversight and so many different layers that you have to keep in mind when it comes to doing anything regarding the production itself, the merch, the people involved. There's a lot of things that go into it. So with it being more indie, it's cool that there's just a lot more creative flexibility and less limitations.
Well, yeah, because with something like Disney, where they have 100 years of legacy and a brand to uphold, something like Glitch, they can kind of make whatever they want to make. They don't have to worry about the legacy and all that. They get to do what they want, and I think it's really cool.
How would you guys say your starting voice acting is? Do you think it's just easy as just doing it? And also, when you guys do your vocal warm-ups, what would it be like?
I started just recording on my flip phone in my bedroom, doing impressions, which evolved to me basically stealing my brother's gaming headset mic to continue doing voiceover impressions on my family's computer in the living room until I went to college, and then continued to record on my laptop in my little dorm under a blanket in my closet. I just found ways to keep doing it, and I stayed very involved in theater. I was in my university's improv club. I just did acting, and I would always record myself, get used to hearing myself back. I would practice reading out loud. You just expose yourself to it, and over the years, you keep building up the experience, and you improve. You improve your craft.
I always sort of gravitated to the microphone theater. I used to have this old Fisher-Price tape cassette that I would do, I would mimic shows I was watching, like Codename Kids Next Door or Power Rangers. Then when it came to Halloween in grade 4, they were doing this Halloween play, and they needed a Dracula, so I did Dracula, this stereotypical kind of voice. So I got cast based off that, and then high school comes around, and I do some theater there. I start making YouTube videos with a crappy Kid Pix mic. And I just keep on doing narration and doing auditions and impressions. I start taking classes. It was a long, long journey. A marathon, in fact.
I did a lot of Sonic fan dubs back as a kid. I just was a huge fan of Sonic, and so I would just take game clips or clips from the anime Sonic X, and I had a crappy mic I got from Kmart that plugged into the pink outlet in the back of your computer, and I would just use that, and I just do really crappy little videos of me recording over the characters because I wanted to, and I made friends from there and sort of joined websites and did stuff from there. There's a lot of great resources, that I had back then that are no longer available, but there's new ones like Voice Acting Club, which are great if you're looking to get started.
VoiceActingClub.com. Anyone who's interested in being a voice actor, you should check out that website.
It's a good website.
Also, I want to be a voiceactor.com.
Yes.
Yep. All good resources.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much for coming to the
so
panel.
much.
This was a lot.